Carlos Baleba
to Manchester United. Here we go. After long negotiation club to club between Man United and
Brighton,
more than 3 bids, now Man United have been able to reach an agreement and sign
Carlos Baleba.
There's one more addition for Ruben Amorim's squad after Francesco already agreed on personal terms a long time ago. He only wanted to go to Manchester United despite interest from several clubs, and now the deal is finally done.
Baleba
to Manchester United.
Fabrizio Romano confirms Carlos Baleba deal to Manchester United, fourth signing for manager Amorim after Cunha and Mbeumo. Manchester United's summer of sweeping change has taken another major step forward. Transfer specialist Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that the club has secured the signing of Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Carlos Baleba. This transfer marks the fourth acquisition under the leadership of new manager Ruben Amorim, following the arrivals of forward Matheus Cunha, midfielder Tanguy Ndombele, and winger Bryan Mbeumo. It is a deal that blends both present need and future vision, giving Amorim another key building block as he shapes a squad to his own tactical and competitive image. A strategic move for the future. Baleba's move to Old Trafford is not a short-term patch or a speculative gamble, it is the outcome of a deliberate, targeted pursuit. At just 21 years of age, the Cameroonian midfielder has already demonstrated a rare combination of physical presence, technical ability, and intelligence on the ball. His rise at Brighton was swift, with Premier League performances that caught the attention of scouts across Europe. United's willingness to commit to a reported 7-year contract is a clear signal of how highly they value his long-term potential. Sources close to the club say initial contact with Brighton began early in the summer, long before the official offer. The plan was to keep the door open in case player sales created both the squad space and financial room for a big midfield investment. As it happened, United's own transfer activity, including the departure of key attacking figures, accelerated the timeline for Baleba's arrival. The Athletic reported that United's recruitment team considered Baleba a priority midfielder for this window, provided the budget was freed up through sales. That threshold was reached sooner than expected, and the club moved quickly to secure a deal before rival suitors could close in. Rashford's departure and Garnacho's uncertainty. Part of what created the opening for Baleba was the changing shape of United's squad. Marcus Rashford's loan move to Barcelona was one of the most talked about exits of the summer. For many supporters, seeing a local academy graduate and longtime talisman leave, even temporarily, was an emotional blow. Yet from a strategic perspective, it was a move that provided financial flexibility and allowed Amorim to rebalance the squad. Meanwhile, Alejandro Garnacho's situation continues to hover over United's planning. Reports have indicated that Chelsea have held advanced talks with the winger and that personal terms are already agreed. While no formal transfer has been confirmed, the uncertainty over Garnacho's status has forced United to think creatively about squad depth, particularly in roles that influence attacking build-up and midfield support. In this context, Baleba's arrival is not simply about replacing one player with another, it is about reinforcing a key area of the pitch that had been stretched thin. With Rashford gone and Garnacho's future unresolved, United cannot afford to leave their midfield without energy, dynamism, and control. Brighton's valuation and negotiation stance. Brighton's business model has become one of the most admired in the Premier League, and their stance on Baleba fit that reputation. ESPN reported that the Seagulls placed a valuation of €120 million, £104 million, on the player, a figure that may have been aspirational but was also grounded in precedent. Brighton have already sold Moses Caicedo to Chelsea for a British record £115 million, and internally they see Baleba as a player capable of reaching that level. Privately, Brighton's hierarchy preferred to keep the midfielder for at least another season, believing that 12 more months of Premier League experience would elevate both his performances and his market value. But United's offer, combined with Baleba's own openness to the move, changed the calculation. Though the final fee remains undisclosed, sources suggest that Brighton secured a package that reflects their faith in the player's ceiling while allowing him to take the next step in his career immediately. Competition from Manchester City. United were not the only club circling. Manchester City, too, were monitoring Baleba's development and had made preliminary inquiries. For Pep Guardiola's side, the attraction was obvious, a young, athletic midfielder who could be molded into a long-term replacement for some of their aging central players. While City never formalised an offer, their interest added urgency to United's pursuit. In transfer markets, even the threat of competition from a direct rival can push a club to act decisively. That competition also speaks volumes about Baleba's growing reputation. When two of the Premier League's biggest and most successful sides identify the same player as a potential cornerstone for the future, it reinforces the belief that he possesses qualities rare enough to warrant the attention. Baleba's profile and fit in Amorim's system. Baleba's attributes align closely with Amorim's preferred style of play. Amorim favors a midfield that is both physically robust and technically proficient, capable of winning duels, sustaining high pressing phases, and transitioning rapidly into attack. At Brighton, Baleba demonstrated an ability to carry the ball through pressure, link play with short and long passes, and contribute defensively with intelligent positioning. For United, who struggled at times last season to control games against high-intensity opposition, those skills are invaluable. His work rate and willingness to cover ground will complement the creativity of Bruno Fernandes and the athleticism of other midfield options. In matches where United need to dominate possession, Baleba can act as a deep-lying playmaker. In tighter, more defensive contests, he has the discipline to anchor the midfield and break up opposition attacks. The broader summer strategy. Baleba's signing fits into a broader recruitment pattern. Amorim's first three signings, Cunha, Ndombele, and Mbeumo, addressed clear needs in attack and midfield balance. Cunha brings a pressing forward who can lead the line or operate as a second striker. Ndombele adds ball retention and dribbling ability in tight spaces. Mbeumo offers pace, width, and adaptability across the forward line. Together, these additions suggest that United's strategy this summer has been to build a versatile, tactically flexible squad capable of competing across multiple competitions without being overly dependent on any single player. The inclusion of Baleba gives that project a foundation in central midfield around which other tactical plans can be built. Fan reaction and expectations. Unsurprisingly, news of Baleba's arrival has generated significant buzz among the United fanbase. Supporters see in him the kind of player who can grow with the club, young enough to develop further, yet already tested in the Premier League. Many recall how similar signings in the past, such as a young Cristiano Ronaldo or Wayne Rooney, blossomed into cornerstones of United's success. There is, of course, caution as well. Some fans remember previous highly touted signings who struggled under the weight of expectation. But the prevailing mood is one of optimism, particularly given the decisive and early way this transfer was handled compared to some of United's more drawn-out sagas in recent years. Looking ahead, with the transfer window entering its final weeks, United's business may not be over. Amorim has indicated that further additions are possible, particularly if more departures occur. There is also the task of integrating the new arrivals quickly, ensuring that the team gels before the season's most demanding stretches. Baleba's debut will be closely watched. If he can quickly adapt to United's tactical framework and the pressures of Old Trafford, he could become one of the defining signings of this new era. In a league where the midfield battle often decides the outcome of matches, his presence could tilt key fixtures in United's favour. Conclusion. Fabrizio Romano's confirmation of Carlos Baleba's move to Manchester United is more than another transaction. It is a milestone in Ruben Amorim's reshaping of the club. Baleba brings youth, potential, and a skill set that matches the manager's vision. Coming on the back of high-profile departures and amid strong competition for his signature, this transfer reflects United's determination to act decisively in pursuit of players who can help them return to the summit of English football. As the season approaches, the focus will shift from contracts and valuations to performances on the pitch. For now, though, United can look at their summer dealings and see a squad that is stronger, deeper, and more balanced than it was just a few months ago. In Baleba, they have not only secured a talented midfielder but also signaled to the rest of the league that this is a club prepared to invest in the future while aiming to win in the present.